Hello everyone, hope you're all well. Just want to create this video about income tax. On the day that it's being recorded, it will not be long until we're in the new financial tax year in the UK. That means naturally your taxes will go up and so does people's wages. That's the trouble. Your wages go up, so does everything else. Now in this country, income tax basically is whatever you earn is how much you pay in taxation, which is, normal. That's just standard. I find it fascinating why we still have income tax, considering it started off from the Napoleonic era. It's the way that the British government can pay for the war against Napoleon, the Peninsular War, even in cases of the 1812 campaign as well. We paid for that. But last time I checked, I thought Napoleon lost in the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, and we're still paying income tax. Bit bizarre, isn't it? I think it's bizarre. He was defeated by Arthur Wellesley with the help of the Chosen Men and the 95th. And a few other people, obviously, the Prussians. Anyway, income tax. Now, income tax, we all pay in a income tax, which is like what we earn, we pay into taxation. Now, for Britain, the vast majority of us are in the tax, well, there's three tax brackets. The vast majority of us pay 20%, so that's the average. Then you got 40% for people on much higher incomes, and then 45% for the mega rich, the mega wealthy. They all pay that amount. But what is, where does this money go to? We all pay it, we all would, have to pay it. It's obvious. But where does it all go nowadays with income tax? Because we're not paying for the Napoleonic War anymore. Well, I hope we're not anymore, because, it's pointless. But I feel like a lot of it goes off to state welfare and the general pot. I mean, we pay so much taxes as it is. I mean, we do VAT, we do... National insurance isn't a tax, I don't think. But we pay VAT, we pay road tax, income tax, and other taxes as well. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it doesn't help that we pay utility bills, which keeps going up as well. We also pay in God knows what else. But where does that money go to? Because with road tax, for example, that's meant to go towards maintenance of the roads, help improving our road systems. However, you look at the roads in Britain, I'm sorry, the Roman roads are much better. They're much more better maintained, built better. Straighter for starters, and there's no blooming potholes. Yet we're covered with potholes. It just gets into this massive pot. All your taxes go into this massive pot. And where does the money go to? Because I've noticed income tax in particular, it doesn't go towards services across the country. We have a massive decline on our military, for example, to the point of it is way below the standards as it was back in the 1982 crisis with the Argentines. A good example of this is the attack on Cyprus a couple of weeks ago, when we have no British ships, no British warships in the Mediterranean at all. And it took us 3 weeks as a rapid response. 3 weeks rapid response. That's pathetic. That is beyond pathetic. A lot of the income tax and a lot of your VAT and things like that are going towards unnecessary things. The state welfare is truly unfairly a priority, more so ridiculously. All your money goes towards like foreign aid, which encourages India to have its space program. It encourages Congo for doing its atrocities in their own country, where even paying for mines used by the Russians. We're also paying for mines used by the Cambodians as well, against their own people, which is truly horrific. And we're even giving more money on handouts to benefits to people who just choose not to work, and illegal immigrants coming into this country not contributing enough, or not even contributing at all. We give housing, we give hotels to people coming into this country, which are creating more crimes, attacking British women and girls. It's appalling, really. It really is appalling. And we've, even thanks to our current government, thanks to Rachel Reeves, we're actually going to give more money towards people with large families who choose not to work. The two benefit cap system is going to be scrapped. You can have a family of 5, 8, 10 kids if you want. Don't need to work. Why should you? The taxpayer's paying for your kids, paying for you to have extra cigarettes, because that's where a lot of these families do pay on. Extra alcohol, extra cigarettes, the latest iPads, TV, plasma screens, luxury goods. They love doing it. And there's a lot of people here who just choose not to pay any taxes. Cash in hand jobs, which, okay, granted, that's not too bad, but when you look at some of the people, such as shoplifters, travellers, and other minority groups, they seem to get away with things like that. It's just so wrong. It's so badly wrong. Something needs to be done. Everyone keeps saying, oh, the tax need to pay more. The rich needs to pay more. It's always the mega rich needs to pay more. And socialists, Green Party, your party, people like that, they love it. They love that sort of thing. How do you do it? How do you tax the mega rich? Are you going to tax them by wealth? Are you going to tax them for everything? Also, how high of a tax are you going to tax them with? And also, which kind of rich tax, which people are you going to tax? Because you're not going to tax your friends, are you, who donate money into the Green Party or to your party or any of the socialist parties? Because there's a lot of rich people sponsoring those parties. It's funny that. But I do believe the tax system that we have in this country is truly overcomplicated and very unfair. There's so much of it, and I'm not an expert when it comes to taxation. You can tell from how I speak and how I talk, I do have a disability. And I'm not an expert when it comes to taxation, but I can tell something needs to be done because it's just ridiculous. It really is. It's overcomplicated. VAT hasn't gone up at all. It's still stuck on 20%. However, the state of this country is atrocious. The roads are not getting fixed. The railways are still running at a loss. Our military is questionable. It's laughable, actually. It's very much laughable. It's a shame, really. Not only that, the policing, fire brigades, the firefighters are poorly equipped, and your taxation should go towards that. Your money from your taxes that you pay should help improve on those situations, not just give it to people on claiming on benefits, or paying off stupid projects like the Indian space program, which a lot of Indian nationalists don't seem to acknowledge, that we, the British taxpayer, are paying for their space program. And they're not even interested in helping their own people. Indian nationalists are not interested at all to helping their own starving people in India. That's how unfair it is. Also, you look at national insurance as well. National insurance, it's meant to go towards the NHS and things. Our NHS, the amount of money it's getting is the equivalent to a lot of African countries' GDPs, or even countries of Southeast Asia, like the Philippines, Thailand, or Cambodia. The amount of money poured into the NHS is higher than what those countries get in GDP. And the level of service is so appalling, it's atrocious. More and more British people are now looking elsewhere to leave the UK to look for better healthcare. And we know this because a lot of people go off to Hungary, go off to Romania, Thailand for various operations, plastic surgery and so forth. And we look at the state of our nurses and their training programs, and it is just so poor. We spend so much time talking about privatising the NHS. Oh, it's being privatised by the Tories. It's being privatised thanks to Boris Johnson or Theresa May. And it's like, no. The NHS has been privatised as far back as Tony Blair, and everyone is too clueless to see it. It's just so appalling, really. And your taxes, your hard-earned money, you're paying your taxes, are going towards people who choose not to work, are going towards people on benefits, or even people illegally coming into this country in these hotels overlooking at schools and nightclubs where young women and girls seem to congregate. And you know what's going to happen, don't you? Those poor innocent young women out there are being abused. They're being attacked by these people. And no one's doing anything about it. No one's talking about it. Nobody wants to criticise. Nobody wants to challenge it. And it's just ridiculous. I do believe our tax system is flawed. There's no question about it. It's overcomplicated. There's so many different taxes out there. It goes into this general pot and it goes to the wrong places. It needs to be distributed in the right places. Like road tax needs to go towards fixing the damn roads. Your VAT needs to go towards things like better training on NHS staff and getting more British people into work. So does your income tax. Our military, our defences, our MOD, the average trooper, soldier, sailor, airman, they're being paid far less. Even your firefighter is being paid far less than a professional footballer. Someone playing for Arsenal, for Manchester United, for Barcelona, I don't know, any of these football clubs, they're earning much more money than a firefighter. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's justified. I really think it's just ridiculous, but this is how this country is run. Also, I believe taxes in this country, not only it's too complicated, but it's way, way too high. It stalls growth. I believe 20% on VAT and national insurance, VAT and income tax is way too high. When it comes to taxation, I believe the UK should be paying at least, the average taxpayer should be paying at least 15%, not 20, 15. That will free us more money to have to spend on things that we need. Because we're in the cost of living crisis and we need the money for, obviously, food, living, paying our bills. And it's not easy for us, the taxpayer. People on benefits, they're laughing. They're really laughing into your faces. But yet us, the British taxpayer, are footing this bill. We are contributing to their luxury, where the average working person is struggling. Not only that, I do believe reform needs to be done. I mean, we need tighter controls on loopholes, taking money out of the country. We need much more tighter rules in that. We need to have a lower taxation, and we need to prioritise better on where our money is going to. And we need to actually encourage people to invest in good things, and even savings. We need to encourage people to have better savings, because it's not easy for getting a house for a first-time buyer. It really isn't, and we're discouraged in doing this. And it's just, ridiculous. And it makes you wonder why. Other countries now are laughing at the UK of our taxation, and everyone criticises how high our taxes are. And granted, our taxes are ridiculously high, but in comparison to places like Israel and Iceland, those countries are more importers than exporters. They pay a much higher taxes than we do. Surprising that. We have no oil reserves, thanks to Tony Blair. We've got no gold reserves, thanks to Gordon Brown. Again, the lack of hindsight. But I do believe this country is stalled, and thanks to the high taxation we got and an unfair taxation that we've got, is causing this problem. If you reduce the people's taxes down, you create more growth, more wealth. That's what I believe in. That's just me. That's just my idea. And I believe a better control of where your money's going towards various projects, such as better training on British healthcare workers, because a lot of British people are being discouraged from working in the NHS. We're getting doctors from third world countries because they're cheaper, and we're paying them an extortionate amount of money to come in because it's apparently better and their services are better. You're not, you're paying third world quality of care into our NHS, which is ridiculous and it shouldn't be. Our servicemen, our service personnel are so poorly equipped. They haven't got the right equipment for their jobs. The army hasn't, the navy hasn't, the firefighters are underfunded, the police are underfunded, despite of them being quite woke lately and incompetent, but that's a whole different issue. Our roads are atrocious, our railways are appalling, and we are on the 200th anniversary of the first railways being built in this country. We invented the railways, and our quality of service is so poor as well. And I'm a big fan of infrastructure. HS2 was meant to help get this country better. It will create growth, prosperity, jobs for the North, the Midlands, as well as London as well. Birmingham would grow far much better with HS2. But instead, Birmingham is, well, it's atrocious really. It's got incompetent councillors, it's got bankruptcy, about 3 years in a row of pure bankruptcy, more unemployed people in Birmingham. It's painful how we've come to this. So I do believe our taxes do need to be restructured. I do believe that we're paying too high of a tax. We need to lower it down a little bit to create more growth, more wealth. I also believe tighter regulations on the super rich for getting their money out needs to be better controlled. Not just high taxation on mega rich, no, keep it as is. But if you simplify your taxes, the more people will contribute, the more this country will benefit, the more wealth, the more growth, the better GDP we produce. I love how Australia's done it. I love how the Canadians deal with their taxation. We need to start looking into those countries, how we can grow and develop in this country. And what Rachel Reeves has done is turned Britain into an absolute pigsty. And there's more and more British people now wanting to leave this country to go elsewhere because the opportunities are so much better. The better healthcare outside the UK, there's loads. Your taxes are lower. The quality of life is much better. Your way of life is so much better in New Zealand or in Canada, in Australia. Even in Germany, for example, is so much better than here in the UK. And it's all done thanks to the incompetence of, well, not just by the Labour Party, it's all the parties from Tony Blair right up to now, and nothing's been done. No one's touching it at the barge pole. And I do believe our tax system is too overcomplicated to the point of silliness. Tell me what your views are, tell me what your thoughts are. Do you think income tax needs to be taken out because it's such an outdated system? Do you think people on benefits on state welfare should be treated like royalty? Love to hear from you. Please, please, please do spread the good word of this to other people, because the more of us talk about taxation and how unfair VAT and income tax is, the more that people will listen, therefore the more change needs to be done. Anyway, take care. Hope you all will enjoy yourselves. Have a fantastic Easter and good luck for this year's financial tax year. Take care. All the best. Bye.